Hey all, this is Christy. Today we are continuing on in our study of Matthew chapter 9. The story is there of a woman who was healed of a bleeding issue, but we're going to actually go over to Mark because it gives more details. So in Mark chapter 5, starting in verse 24, we see this. So Jesus went with him. A large crowd followed and pressed around him, and a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had, yet instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched me?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." So what do we learn from this story? Well, there was a woman. She had this bleeding issue for 12 years. She had gone to multiple doctors. She had tried everything to try to heal this problem. She was considered unclean. She was considered an outcast because of this issue that she had, and it had been just a horrific burden for her. Jesus is coming into town, probably Capernaum, and there's a large crowd that is following him. Again, wherever Jesus went, there was a large crowd, and so the crowd was pressing in around him as he's walking down the street. And this woman sees that he's coming, and she thinks to herself, if only I can touch just the hem of his garment, just a piece of his clothes, I know that I will be healed. And so she presses in, she wiggles her way in through the crowd, and at that moment, she takes her opportunity and she reaches out and she touches the hem of his garment. Well, immediately she's healed. And immediately Jesus realizes that power has gone out of him. And so he stops and he wants to know who touched him. And the disciples are like, "Look around, Jesus. There's people touching you everywhere. We're crowded in here like sardines." But he's saying, no, I know that the holy healing power has gone out from me. And so when he says these things, the woman realizes that she can't hide this any longer, and so she says, "It was me, and I thought if I can just touch the hem of your garment." And so this is what Jesus says. He says, "Your faith has healed you." Listen, when we seek Jesus in something that we are dealing with, we have to have that faith that he is first willing, and that faith that he is able. And when we do those things, God is going to work. Now, he may not answer exactly like we need him to or want him to, but he's going to answer in the very best way because he is God. He is sovereign. He knows your issues. He knows what you're dealing with, and he is going to work everything out for your good. So today, as you pray, when you seek God, seek with faith. Seek knowing that he is able and that he is willing. He wants to help you in this situation, and then trust that he will work it out. All right, have a great day.